Since I took my pants off, I feel really chilly, but it's too hot to put my pants back on, so I'm putting my sweater on my legs. Like a little
shorts.
And this is Goblincast live on the air.
If you put your legs through sweater arms, does that make them pants?
Oh my god! Wait, I'm gonna see if I could do that.
Hi, I'm Eddy.
This is really good. Audio medium. Wait.
Hi, I'm Jennica. And
Hi,
again,
I'm Chris.
Doing some nonsense is Evey.
I mean, the whole neck hole would either make them incredibly inconvenient or incredibly convenient, depending on where you stand on that.
It depends on if you're inside or outside, really.
Alright, it's a cardigan, and this is the most powerful I've ever felt.
It's like an upside down like medical gown.
Yeah, it kind of is like that. So what's up, everybody? It's been a little bit since we recorded some. Oh God, I accidentally brought my cursor into the part of the screen that's being recorded. The whole thing's ruined. We better restart.
Oh
no, we're not going to get a better opening than that.
No, I kid.
Falling off of me. I can't. It doesn't stay on like pants.
No, it's a cardigan.
Okay.
What made you?
We've learned an important lesson, and that is that the
brain-
fashion industry knows best.
I'm
Clearly.
just gonna show you guys. I want to show you guys how stupid I am real quick, because here's the thought process that went through my brain.
Okay.
I went, oh, I'll tie the sleeves around my waist, like how sometimes I'll tie a hoodie around my waist when I'm done wearing it.
Wait, but I thought
And
the
then
sleeves
I
were.
Yeah.
On her leg.
I even felt behind me to try and find the sleeves.
Oh my god.
So, there you
have
go.
The widest leg warmers in the world.
Yeah.
So I just want to be clear when I say things
so it's like leg warmers with a cape.
Yeah,
the butt cape that starts at your knees.
Well, and the sleeves were
Is it a cardigan with like buttons, or is it one of those?
No, it's like a. But the sleeves were tight enough on my legs that they stayed up all the way to the thigh. So it just kind of looked like I was wearing the world's worst pair of tights.
That's
like they were just
That
sagging
starts at
down
the
there.
knees. It's astounding.
Hey.
Or
Hey,
the best
Evey.
pair of knee highs on
Hey,
the
Evey.
planet.
Where did the kingy keep his armies?
In his sleeves.
No, probably in a barracks or something.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Get fired.
Why don't you go right to hell?
I'm already there.
So it's spooky season,
Aren't we all?
as you all well know.
It sure is.
Has everybody been watching lots of horror films?
No.
I've been
I
watching
haven't
a
been watching-
horror series.
Oh
Me
yeah, you were
too.
telling us you were watching The Haunting of Bly Manor, right?
I finally watched it as well.
I haven't
Into the
checked
fuck
it
out
out
of
yet.
that.
What is this?
Are you
Yeah,
familiar
you
with
guys
The
know what's in
Haunting
it.
of Hill House, Jennica?
I know what it is, but
I
I've
haven't
not
watched that one.
consumed it
is.
because I'm terrified of scary movies.
It's not actually that scary.
Yeah,
And
I
the
found
second series even less so.
I found Bly to be about as scary as Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
It's
Like-
less like jump scary actual
Yeah,
horror and more
that's like
like
a thriller.
psychological thriller stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
which
fine.
I far
I just don't
prefer.
like
Your
horror.
use of actual was very interesting, Chris.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Well,
I
words are
far
words.
prefer that brand of horror. I feel like little jump scares have their place within the genre, right? Like, if you're just gonna make like a slasher and like that's all of your entertainment is shock value, and that's fine. That's fun.
I
That's what you
disagree.
sign up for.
I think we
Like-
should force people to elevate the art form, and we shouldn't let them get away with poor craftsmanship
but that's
because it's
my
just a
point. Like,
slasher. I mean,
well,
there are a lot of really good slashers.
There are. I'm just saying that if you want to make something that's just shock value, like
Mhm.
that's the kind of thing that you make, right? Like if you're gonna make like the thing about ghosts is
Ghosts
that
are
like
spoopy.
conceptually there's so much there. Like there's so much lore to play with, and there's so much creepiness and and history and generational trauma that you can drag into a ghost story, you know? And a ghost story that you tell around a campfire, it's not scary because, you know, it's not scary because something's going to jump out at you. It's scary because after that, you have to leave the fire's protection and walk through the dark to your tent and lay there alone and listen to all the sounds of the night.
And then some older kids jump out of the dark and scare you.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So
Like,
that's
but you know, your own brain is what's turning against you, but you have like something tangible to fear, whether it's imagined or not. Like there's something that's been conjured now as a vehicle for that fear, and that's why I think that living in a haunted house or being chased by monsters would actually, I think, help my anxiety.
I mean,
because when you feel anxious, you'd be like, no, it's not me, it's the ghost.
Right, and like instead of fearing like the existential ennui of life as I do normally, I'll be fearing
in his flesh mask.
Right, like I'm fearing something.
Yeah, you'll be fearing the
like,
7-foot-tall horned meat beast charging at you down the hall.
Instead of someone going like,
it's
Eddy,
hard
why
to
are
think
you
about
anxious?
the
And you
universe's
going,
tough
I
questions when you're running from a meat beast.
And it's like,
Yeah.
when people say to me,
Like if
Evey,
Nietzsche
why
had
are
been
you-
chased by a meat beast, you know,
it would be far more poignant work that he would have created.
And you stare into the abyss, the meat beast comes and gets you.
But like,
he would have been like, "Don't stare into that abyss, fam. There's a meat beast down there."
How long is too long to stare into the abyss with a meat beast around?
Well, that's the thing, right? Is he wouldn't have been able to stop and stare at the abyss. He would have run right by the abyss. Meat beast chasing him, and then the abyss would have been like, "Man, I kind of wanted to stare back at that guy."
The abyss
Damn.
is just sitting there longingly, like I was just trying to make a friend.
You run past the abyss because of the meat beast. The abyss reaches longingly in your direction.
The abyss sighs dramatically and says, "Another one."
But I do want to
There's
say,
more people being chased by meat beasts.
I do want to say,
The
I
abyss is just trying to make a connection.
I think that with jump scares, like they are a thing that's become very diluted, by their abundant poor
Their
use.
prolific nature. Yeah.
Because they're so easy to just do badly, you know.
You have a violin screech and you have something come into frame.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and then people will like jump because they've been startled.
shocked.
They haven't been scared; they've been startled. But like you can construct a jump scare really well by
Right, and
building the
that's,
atmosphere appropriately, and it kind of like what you were talking about with like leaving the campfire after a scary story. You're watching the movie and you feel like something's gonna jump out, right? So then the movie has two options, right? It can have something jump out and you get scared and it's a catharsis, right? Which is part of why we do entertainment in the first place. Or nothing jumps out and then you just have that creepy feeling in the back of your head moving
Get
forward.
that anticipation.
Yeah.
Well, and that's something
you get like horror blue balls, you know?
yeah, and to kind of bring it back to Bly Manor.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, is that
No, it's
something
all
that,
about the meat beast now.
It's the abyss and the meat beast.
the show isn't perfect, right? But that is something that it does really well, where it is ultimately a psychological horror. It's you know, and a psychological thriller. It's the way that you haunt yourselves. It's the way that you haunt your loved ones. It's the way that your loved ones haunt you. It's the way that you're haunted by your past.
Okay.
But it's also has these like traditional elements of like the slasher and the jump scare and these things that are very
And the meat beast?
well.
There is no
That's
meat
for-
beast
that's
per
for
the
no
third
se.
beast?
series.
What is
The
this
meat-
shit?
The meat beast is in the third series, dude. We're not there yet.
Ghosts.
The haunting of
But-
Meat Beast Manor.
No, the haunting
Like,
of the abyss.
There are
It's
some,
just
like,
titled The Meat Beast Stares Back.
there are some like jump scare spots. but they don't feel cheap and they don't feel like, like it doesn't feel like phoned in horror at any point. It genuinely feels like it's trying.
They're well earned.
Mhm.
And they're not even necessarily so jumpy as they are just, sudden.
Yeah.
Which
I guess that
I realized in wording I have just said the same thing twice.
Yeah.
The first one comes so early in the show that I was worried that, like, the first moment like that, and I was worried that that's all it was going to be, was just like jump scares over and over again. Because I went into it knowing one thing about the show, and it's that there were a fuck ton of ghosts up in that house. But I was very pleasantly surprised by the way that things played out.
I will consider looking into that, although I generally just like don't interact with horror because
Same.
I get so scared. Like, the amount that I get scared is not normal. Like, do you remember back in the good old days of YouTube when people made like puppet jokes and like there were puppet
jokes.
like puppet musicals, like parodies of stuff everywhere,
yeah.
and that was like a thing.
Puppet Pals?
Yeah, like them, but also there were other ones. Like, it was kind of popular. Yeah, and I watched one.
I skipped that, I guess.
I watched a puppet musical parody of the movie Psycho, and I cried myself to sleep.
Oh, jeez.
And then I couldn't shower for 3 months without the curtain open.
Dude, that's what happened to real people when they saw not that you're not
a
real.
Regular Psycho.
Not that you're not real. That's what really happens to people when Psycho came out. That like they saw it in the theater, and then they were like, I'll take a bath maybe.
This was like a puppet musical parody of the movie that was like 3 minutes long.
On the note of
Jenica's not imaginary, right? You guys can hear her?
Yes. On the note of recreating horror films on YouTube.
Ben brings this up every opportunity he has.
I certainly do. The Thingu is the greatest recreation of a horror film I've ever seen, and it is a claymation penguin recreation of The Thing.
I forget about The Thingu.
Until Ben brings it up again.
Until I bring it up roughly every 2 weeks.
I only can recall it and hold it in my mind for 12 hours after Ben mentions it, and then it's gone forever.
Which
and then
is
when he
odd,
reminds me,
perfect.
And when he reminds me, I am full of joy.
I would really like
I've remembered it.
In the description for this episode, if we could just have a link to The Thingu.
Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
This is a bit of a non sequitur. And by a bit, I mean it's entirely one. But in mentioning that, I guess I've sequited.
You did sequit.
Congratulations.
So I have something.
No.
To sequit.
You've done the sequeted.
Yeah, there was a bit of sequetion.
I don't like it anymore, actually. I thought it was a good idea, and I've changed my mind.
Do you hate it as much as you hate unwet?
I'm so fucking angry at you!
Go on.
A dry object is dry, regardless of it previously being wet or not.
Okay.
So an object that has been wet, that is now dry, is unwet.
No!
And I said that without any of the build-up to my mother while we were cooking earlier, because I handed her a pan and said, you can just put it on the heat to unwet it. And it took her a second.
Yeah.
Because she had started to dry it with a towel. And she said, wait, hang on. Unwet? And I said, yeah, unwet.
Madness.
It was wet. Now it's unwet.
I don't even know what to say to you.
I think Ben is secretly like a 16th century poet.
Yeah, I'm Shakespeare.
Oh,
did you know?
No, because the feelings that I have for Shakespeare are far more intense than
made up the
anything
word
I could ever
elbow.
feel for you.
So I've made up the word unwet.
Same.
He came into my room and he said, something that is no longer wet is unwet. And I said, no, it's fucking dried.
No. Because you never say...
Not dry. It has been dried. If you want it to have a different state of being, that's the different state of being.
It is currently unwet.
No.
It has been unwet.
Shall I compare thee to an unwet towel?
Any other thing. You don't look at a window.
Thou art more
was
lovely
open.
and still wet.
You don't look at a window that was once closed and is now opened and go, it's unclosed.
Yes, you do.
No, you fucking do not.
But you do look at one that was open and is now closed and say it's unopened.
No, unopened means that it was never opened.
Yeah.
That word has a definition.
So
that word has a
unwet,
concrete meaning.
Unwet is something that has never, ever, ever been wet.
Like my dick. Oh, it took so long.
Ben's mom, I'm really sorry that I had to keep that in.
Fucking A.
It's a joke because I have had sex before.
Whoa! All right, I'll edit that one out for Ben's mom.
I hope.
I mean, I don't want her to have a heart attack, please.
Oh, God, I'm so glad that had a payoff.
So anyway,
moving on to something else.
So now for something completely
now,
different.
You guys know what's kind of fucked up?
What?
You know how like turkeys, right? They can waddle around all day and just go fucking like gobble all they want. But if I fucking walk around and I say swallow, swallow, that's fucked up.
Okay, we gotta switch tracks.
Fucking super is.
When we enter this realm, I get complaints.
Wait, can I tell you guys about the time that I was personally victimized by a turkey?
Please.
Yes.
In fact, my whole family was personally victimized by a turkey.
I feel like you've said it on the podcast before.
No, I've never heard the story.
Oh, okay, awesome. Go.
When I was a young warthog,
when she
was a young warthog.
Thank you, boys. My mother.
I'm gonna have to like slide a Timon into screen. Or two of them, I guess.
What do you want me to do? Drag do the who? All right, listen. So when I was a kid, my mom worked at a group home for people with mental health issues who couldn't live on their own, and they need like an assisted living home for
alive people who needed assistance.
Yeah. I just want to make the distinction that it wasn't a bunch of old people because I'm scared of those.
Old people?
Yeah.
Wait, you're scared of old people and you don't respect young people.
Correct.
So just middle-aged people are where you're comfortable.
If you're 30, you're fine. Anyway, so one day, I think it was like some stupid fucking fake holiday like Columbus Day. So my sister and I had off from school. And well, Mom didn't have anywhere else to send us, and she worked in Delaware, and it was like a 50-mile drive to work. And she didn't want to leave us home alone. That was unacceptable, and I certainly would have destroyed something or other. So she brought us to work with her, which was fine because it was a whole group home, and it had like rooms where we could hang out and do activities. So we just hung out and did activities.
As children do.
As children do. We were very well-behaved children, and we did activities.
Wait, you guys got to do activities?
Yeah, fucking, we did all kinds of activities. I pretended to play a piano loudly and badly.
Excellent.
So, this group home, this house was situated in like a very rural area in Delaware, and it was on a pond, and then like surrounded by woods. And when it was time to go home, my sister and I went outside and we got in the car and we sat in the car and we waited, and Mom finished up all the things that she needed to do inside the house, and she came out the front door to meet us in the car, and out from behind the hedges on the side of the house comes a big ass fucking male turkey. Big grumpy ass looking motherfucker. And my mom is...
Turkeys can look grumpy.
They sure can. And my mom is scared of birds. In addition to turkeys being deeply alarming, my mother is scared of birds. And she goes, "Oh no." And she goes back inside the house. She watches from the screen door and she waits for the turkey to leave. And she thinks, it's a fair thought that the turkey's just going to walk away, right? But the turkey doesn't. It comes up to the car and it looks in the windows because they're fucking big. It looks in the car windows at me and my sister and makes fucking eye contact with me. It pecks the door.
If you gaze too long into the turkey,
now torn between
the turkey gazes
gonna
back.
Get you.
Torn between intense terror of this bird and also like that maternal instinct of like, my children are in danger.
Mm-hmm.
So she opens the front door of the house a little bit, and the turkey whips its head around and glares at her. She goes back in the house. She's like, "I'm sorry."
Have you seen that video of the guy who like punches a goose that's attacking him?
What?
Yeah, well, it's like it starts like running at like people at this park or something, and everyone's like scared, and it like is trying to bite them. So they all like scatter except this one dude. He just decks the goose. Like, and it falls down and like flails around a bit, and then it hops up and runs away. Like,
that's how you beat a goose.
They're not used to getting hit back.
Yeah.
The fucking turkey goes up.
I feel like they're bobbing and weaving. I feel like it's hard to hit a goose in the face, you know?
It is. It's fucking tricky. But the turkey goes up to the front door of the house, and it pecks at the door, and my mom's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die! I'm going to die today!" And so what she does is she slams the front door closed. She runs to the back of the house, runs out the back door, books it out to the car, starts the car. We're all in tears. And the turkey's chasing us down the driveway as we back out.
You shouldn't think to hit the turkey with the big old weapon she's driving.
We were just trying to get out of there, man.
Yeah, I mean, the turkey's not a threat anymore,
trying to get out with their lives.
And I'm not gonna say that this next part is 100% true, because I was a child, and my memory is a little bit, spotty. But I'm pretty sure she did not go back to that job. Ever.
Because the turkey lived outside of it?
I don't think she ever returned.
Oh no.
So I still don't know why that turkey was fucking out for blood, but he was.
It's just the way turkeys are.
Wait,
they're
so
vicious.
I guess so.
So the moral of this
birds
story
are mean.
Is that you think birds exist?
Oh my
well,
God.
no, I mean, turkeys obviously exist. It's just that they're, they get confused with the animal that people believe to. Sorry, they get confused with the fictional. You know how like sometimes people see like a big bear and they think it's Bigfoot.
Hey,
yeah, or like sailors used to think that manatees were mermaids.
Yeah, sometimes people see a turkey and they think it's a bird.
In their tails.
A turkey is an adapted reptile with feathers.
Yeah,
and they're just so rare that people get. They really
go, oh, that looks like what that creature I've heard about called a bird.
Right, they so badly want it to be a bird.
Also, Evey, I know that Bigfoot exists, obviously, but there's so few of them, and they're very good at hiding. So, like most Bigfoot sightings are actually bears.
Yeah, I mean it's the same. It's the same thing with coy wolves, which are a real animal.
Can I talk about something real quick, actually related to cryptids? So Mothman, right?
Oh, my boyfriend.
Yeah, so here's the thing about Mothman, right? Like, I don't, like, to be serious for a second, out of character, I don't think that there's a Mothman. I'm sorry, Evey.
No, you?
Okay, but those people saw something, right?
Yeah.
Because you have all these, like, disparate reports, right? Not a ton, right? Because most of the reports came in after the first news story. But you've got, like, 4 or 5 different people or groups of people, right? That all reported things before the story broke the news that were like pretty much the same. They were like, I saw this thing, it looked like this. And they all described the same thing.
Yeah.
So like they saw something. Like there was something
this
there.
happened before with a lot of other like
This happens a lot.
original
There is like the theory
they
that
all have been a mass hallucination. Like they can't all have been that.
No, I mean with the Mothman, for me, I think the most plausible theory is that there was some kind of like that night, some kind of like small like military like test craft that had red lights on it flying above that area, and people saw that and were like, oh, it looks like a big bird man.
And then the military collapsed Silver Bridge, right? Is that?
No, I don't
really
think
don't think that those two things are
Mothman didn't do it. I want to be very clear about that. Mothman did not collapse the bridge. He warned the people of Point Pleasant that the bridge was going to collapse. He is a harbinger.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He is not the instigator.
Speaking of the great heroes of history, I have something I've wanted to share with you all for a while.
In my soul, that Mothman did not hurt anybody.
We haven't recorded in a while, and I thought it would be best to share this with you all on the podcast.
Okay.
All right.
So recently, not so recently now because it's been a while, but recently I've learned about a man from history. He's my new hero. And he's about to become your hero as well.
It's not Terrar.
Who?
A dude in a French war hospital that ate a baby.
Oh, fuck! I know who Terrar is. Holy shit! Yeah, he ate a lot of stuff.
He ate a lot of stuff, but one of the things he ate was a child.
He was like in the military, but he was afraid of being in the military, so he volunteered to do experiments where he ate stuff so that he wouldn't have to go see combat, right?
Yeah, and then they used him as
eating stuff later, and a child went missing in the hospital where he was.
He's one of like the first examples of what we think would have been pica. Which is like that the like compulsion to eat non-food items.
But he also like could like digest stuff weird. Like he had something else going on with like his stomach too.
Yes.
And he did eat the whole last child.
Jesus Christ.
So no, not Terrar. The man I'm talking about is a man. He's a British guy named Mad Jack Churchill. Have you guys ever heard of this man?
Yeah, I am intricately familiar with Mad Jack Churchill.
Good.
I love this man.
No.
So let me tell you about Mad Jack, okay? So before he was mad, back when he was just Jack, right? He was a young man. You know, he grew up, living his life, joined the army, served for a little while. And then he left the army, right?
Foolish.
He left the army in like 1935 or 36, right?
Sweet.
And he had a couple of hobbies. His hobbies included playing the bagpipes and archery.
At the same time?
Not at the same time, unfortunately. So
those some pretty good hobbies.
After leaving the army, he did a lot of stuff. He was a male model. He was in a movie, like a professional film called The Thief of Baghdad. He was in bagpipe competitions. He represented Britain at the World Archery Championship in 1939. Right?
God, I wish that were me. That's how I'm gonna become a knight.
Yeah, he came in second place. He was pretty good at archery, right?
Wow.
But then something happened, and you may be able to guess what happened by the fact that I just said 1939.
Yeah.
And that thing was World War II began occurring. And
what the heck is that?
So Jack, he was still on the reserve list, so they called him, to service, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it, boys." So at first he's deployed in France.
It's a bummer.
Yeah. So in France, he has his men like ambush a German patrol, and he signals the start of the ambush by raising in the air his longsword, because he had a longsword with him.
Sweet.
And he's quoted as saying something like, "An officer who goes to battle without his sword is not fully dressed."
Oh my God.
He's on the battlefield. He has his longsword on his hip. Strapped over his shoulder, he has his bagpipes, and around his neck, he has his longbow.
Oh my God.
So he raises his sword, his men charge into battle, and during this fight, he gets what is still currently the last recorded military longbow kill. So some German guy is like, yeah, we're the Nazis. And just an arrow comes flying through the air and kills this man. He's probably got a machine gun or a sniper rifle or something.
Mm-hmm. I want to shoot Nazis with a longbow so badly.
Right? So,
just, go to the middle of America.
So after
you can still live your dream.
So
I'm not saying that I can't.
After his time here, he volunteers for the commandos. So he becomes an officer leading some commando troops, and they get deployed to Norway.
I believe none of those troops were wearing underwear.
So
it's what made them special.
At Norway, they land on the beach for this one battle, and they've got to advance. You've seen this in war movies. The Germans are entrenched up a beach, and the Allies land on the beach, and they all get fucked up, right?
Yeah.
So as the doors of the landing craft are dropping, right? He's playing March of the Cameron Men on his bagpipes. And as the doors open, he throws a grenade, pulls out his sword, and charges at the German line.
With the sword?
Yeah, he charges the German machine guns with his sword.
Classic.
Yeah, and during this battle, apparently, he was shot in, the shoulder. And then after that, he went on to save some other, British men and defeat the Germans.
Single-handedly.
No, not single-handedly. So then he was awarded some kind of honor, right, for getting injured and saving people. So then Mad Jack and his commandos, they're deployed to Italy. And in Italy is where your boy goes absolutely mad. Well, no, absolutely mad was the grenade and the longsword, but
you don't have to worry about your aim if you don't have to reload.
Yeah, I guess so. So, well, he also did have guns, but
fuck that, he had a sword.
He did have a sword, yeah. In Italy, right? His commandos, there's 50 of them or something, and they're tasked with taking a position. And there's a lot of Germans there. They're outnumbered by the Germans. So Jack comes up with a strategy where he has his men, he spreads them round this German encampment on all sides. And on his signal, they all start firing at the Germans and yelling commando at the top of their lungs, just screaming the word commando into the night.
God.
Right? So the Germans, this is happening all around them. There's just this, echoing of gunfire and people shouting commando from all sides. And they're like, oh no, we're heavily outnumbered. So they surrender. Mm-hmm. So Jack and his 50 commandos capture 130 German soldiers and take them as prisoners. Because he's a goddamn madman.
Mm-hmm. He really took Sun Tzu's teachings to heart.
Yeah.
I want to find out that this guy is my ancestor.
During the same campaign, one night, him and another guy in the commandos, they head out of camp and they come upon some German soldiers who are digging a trench or something, right? Guided by the light of Jack's cigarette in his mouth, they sneak up on the German soldiers and capture 2 of them at sword point. And then they used these Germans as human shields and took their guns and then captured a bunch of other Germans with the guns and the swords.
Excellent.
Then Jack and his commandos are sent to Yugoslavia. And during, some battle here, they get surrounded and they take extreme casualties to the point where the only one left is Jack. And he's surrounded by Germans. So he does the only thing that he could think to do. And he starts playing Will Ye No Come Back Again on his bagpipes. As the Germans advanced on his position. So in the, wherever he is, a grenade comes in, lands next to him, explodes. And knocks him out. And the Germans, They're like, oh, this guy's alive. And they see, his dog tags or whatever, and they're like, Churchill? Holy shit. This guy's related to Winston Churchill. So they take him prisoner. He's not related to Winston Churchill, by the way. Right? They take him prisoner and send him back to Berlin. And the POW camp he's in Berlin, he breaks out of, wherever they're keeping him, and he crawls under the wires, and he's running to the coast, but they capture him and they take him back to the camp. Then he's transferred to a concentration camp in Austria. Mm-hmm. And I guess from my research, there's conflicting stories of how he escaped. But one that I saw was that just coincidentally some night the power got cut. So maybe something happened with a line or something. And so under the cover of darkness, he again breaks out of his confinement and he escapes the camp. And then he walked 100 miles through the Alps to get to Italy.
Jesus Christ.
And when he arrived, they're like, holy shit, right? It's fucking this guy. And he's like, all right, send me back in, coach. I'm ready to kill more Germans.
Oh my God.
And then they sadly had to inform him. They were like, dude, the war's over. We just won. He's like, what? What do you mean we just won? So he was pretty upset about that. But luckily, there was still the Pacific Theater. So he signed up to be sent over there and to fight the Japanese alongside the Americans. So he ships over there, he arrives, he's ready to go. But not long after he arrives in, the Pacific Theater, the bombs are dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Mm-hmm. So that war also ends. And apparently Mad Jack is quoted as saying, if it weren't for those damn Yanks, we could have kept the war going for another 10 years.
Oh my God.
I mean, patently untrue, but it's fine.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's kind of the story of Mad Jack Churchill. He went on to die of old age at the age of 90, which is one of the most badass things you can do. Do all that shit that should kill you and then live till 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story of Mad Jack Churchill, the greatest man in history.
What the fuck?
He had bagpipes and a sword and a longbow, and he killed Germans with them.
I know how to use 2 of those things.
You gotta learn the bagpipes now, Evey.
There's also a fun story. There's also a fun story about him from after he had retired.
A hero.
Okay.
All right.
So when he had retired, he would take the train home from work, whatever he was doing. I think he was some kind of instructor at a war school.
War school.
So I don't fucking know these
Welcome
things.
To War Academy.
Or he had some desk job or something.
I'm your teacher, Crazy Jack.
But on the train ride home, he would like to fucking spook people. He'd just open the fucking train window and chuck his briefcase out the window. And apparently he was throwing it into his own backyard.
That's fine.
So he wouldn't have to carry it home.
Fuck.
God damn.
So yeah,
remember back when you could open train windows?
I love Mad Jack Churchill.
I've
been waiting
character.
to tell you guys this story for a while.
Oh boy. I don't know how we're gonna follow up Mad Jack Churchill.
You just do it. You non-sequit.
Okay, so Phil Collins' ex-wife allegedly took over his home with armed guards.
Yeah, fucking armed 2 against
Excuse
Phil Collins.
me?
Might as well.
Yeah, there was a coup d'etat against Phil Collins.
No, this cannot stand.
Yeah, right? I guess he didn't feel it coming in the air tonight.
Oh.
No, I guess not.
No.
Oh, Lord.
I
don't have any details about this because it was one unsourced article about this.
Phil,
it was sure a headline that got published.
Because I know you listen to the podcast, Phil. If you need, if you want to come out of the podcast and tell your story, we can get the word out for you, man.
Yeah.
To
I mean,
all 7 people that listen
to all like.
I will say,
pardon me. To all like 15 of our listeners, dude, we got you.
Mm-hmm.
That's twice what
I
I
will
said.
say the only real news source that I found for this story is Fox News, and the rest of them are like weird tabloids. So this may be completely fabricated, but it's 2020, and like any news story could break, and I would believe that it's true.
I'm reading it.
You know, they found
have the word allegedly in the headline.
I am currently reading it on Tampa Bay Times.
Okay.
So this did happen.
I don't trust any news sources that are only in Florida.
This did happen.
I don't trust any news sources with Times or news in the name. Or Post, in fact.
I mean, you shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't trust the Post.
Any news sources that say Post, Times, or News in their name, I don't trust them.
What about Chronicle? Is that okay?
Case by case.
All right.
So what does the Tampa Bay Times say about this alleged coup d'état?
That all of that that we have just discussed has actually happened, and she has been served with I forget the name of the fucking thing, but the thing you get served.
It's right in front of you, isn't it?
That doesn't actually say the
Chris,
word.
I'm relying on you for Phil Collins related news right now.
She got sued for it, basically.
Well, you'd think, right?
So it has happened. She has been sued. You know.
Phil Collins should have gone just full Mad Jack. Retaken his home.
Yeah, with a sword and bagpipes.
With a sword and bagpipes. Do you think Phil Collins can play the bagpipes?
I think Phil Collins can play any instrument, man.
Do you?
Yeah, I think he can.
Guys,
he's got the magic touch.
The last line of this fucking article.
What?
The siege of the Miami Beach Alamo continues.
They're having fun with it.
Well, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Armed guards have stormed Phil Collins' mansion.
Well, they weren't guards until after they stormed it, right?
Yeah.
In theory. They might have been his armed guards. That's what makes it a coup, isn't it?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
A coupe d'etat.
Yes, it's a sedan.
A coupe d'etat. Can I non sequit?
Do it.
Well, no, because you just sequited.
I made a startling discovery.
Man, if we didn't talk about a meat beast, by the way, the title of this episode would have something to do with sequit. Like,
can the title please be The Meat Beast Stares Back?
Maybe. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was thinking, right? Is like, so just for a second, right? Like, Ben, you were talking about like Nietzsche's book would be like The Meat Beast Stares Back, but I think it would actually be it would be like Gazing into the Meat Beast, and then the sequel would be Meat Beast 2, It Stares Back.
It's a bad action film.
Yeah, it is.
It Stares.
Passion of the Christ 2.
It Stares is like the remake that happens like 20 years later.
Yeah, that's like not at all as good as the original.
Yeah,
but
it's like the Rob Zombie remake.
CG. Oh fuck!
No, Evey was going for Blade Runner, and you went for Halloween.
No, I think it could have been anything.
No, because that's a sequel, the Blade Runner 2049. I mean, I agree that it's not nearly as good as Blade Runner.
I always want to call it 2048 because I remember that damn number app.
Yeah, the number game. Yeah.
God, that game is so good.
But it's not 2048. But anyway, so I made an alarming discovery on my lunch break at work yesterday.
Okay.
So does anybody remember, like back when we were kids? Like this is real, like 90s kids will remember shit. Do you remember when Heinz?
Like if you remember.
Do you remember when Heinz had colored ketchups?
Motherfucking Hulk themed
I had
ketchup.
The green in my
that shit was disgusting.
All right. I want you guys to tell me, what do you remember, without looking up, what do you remember those being called?
Oh, I don't remember, but I do remember that for Shrek there was like a green one and a purple one,
Yeah.
I remember those two specifically.
There was an amount of time.
I remember the purple one.
There was an amount of time where I had only seen the purple Shrek one, and I was like, why isn't it green?
So here's the thing. I, for my entire life, have remembered that they were called Easy Squeeze.
No, that's just...
No, Evey. They were called Easy Squirt.
Yeah, that's the alarming discovery that I made. Because Easy Squeeze is a great name. It rhymes. It is what it does. But no, they called it Easy Squirt.
Easy Squirt can be a great name. It's not for ketchup.
No, it can't. I don't know that it can.
It cannot be. It cannot.
I mean, I'm open
to
possibilities,
but
not that one.
Easy Squirt would be a good name for it.
I mean, I guess maybe.
Ben, your mom listens to this.
Yeah, so here's the thing about my dick.
For me, I don't want to get too deep into it. You know.
So for me, easy squirt or even easy squeeze for that matter, right? They don't sound like they should be a specific like it doesn't sound like the name for like the the colorized ketchup. What it sounds like is the name for like, hey, this is our new Easy Squeeze bottle. Like it's, what I mean?
We're in an Easy Squeeze bottle.
And it's the bottle that's easier to squeeze. It doesn't sound like this product is the Easy Squeeze, And what makes it easy or squeezy? The fact that
there was a regular colored Easy Squirt ketchup.
Okay.
Stop.
Yeah, there was. It was the ketchup for kids.
It had like the fucking like Elmer's glue top on it.
It's Kid Chup.
Ketchup.
Ketchup. The Heinz Mayo Chup.
I'm gonna Google.
No, don't fucking talk to me about Mayo Chup.
Apparently there was a blue one.
Why not ketchup?
Was there?
Yeah, there was a blue one.
How do you?
And there was they kept the green one around and themed it after the Grinch.
Yuck.
Huh.
There were so many colors.
I know what process they had to go through to color these.
Or like ketchup-nays.
Brown.
Anything is better than mayo chup, really.
Yes, it really is.
Like any combination of those two words is superior to mayo chup.
Right.
Do you think this is an example of like outrage marketing, where they where they like tested it with audiences and they were like, oh wow, people really hate mayo chup, so they're like, let's go with mayo chup then, because then people will talk on social media about how they hate it.
Yeah, they got a bunch of middling responses to everything else, and then just very negative to mayo chup.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
No,
Chris, what are you fucking losing your mind about? All right, so go, Evey, go.
I remember the one that I got really mad about in the mayo chop line, because I thought I was looking at all of them in the store one day and I got really fucking mad.
Yeah, they've got like 6 of them at Target.
But listen, at least mayo chup, right? It's mayonnaise and it's ketchup. It's the first part of a word and the last part of a word, and that's how you slam a word together, right?
No,
but that is how you portmanteau.
You know what makes me very angry? Cranch.
That's just a K in front of the word ranch.
Deviant Art
fucking cranch.
Struck again. Cranch is upsetting.
What makes me even angrier?
Wait, why not ranch up?
The bottle of Cranch, it's fucking called Cranch, has the KRA in red and the NCH.
That doesn't make
blue.
any fucking sense. Why not ranch up?
This insinuates that it's made of
Cratch up and ranch. Cratch up and ranch.
It's Cratch up and ranch. So fucking mad.
Oh. God, maybe it's made of like crazy glue and ranch.
Well, now you're onto something.
And they just added some Easy Squirt red to make it red.
Oh my god.
Dude, when you gaze into the cranch.
The cranch. It sounds like somebody tried to combine the Krampus and the Grinch.
When you stare into the cranch, the meat beast smiles.
Oh, fuck. It's the Gunch.
Gunch.
I'm sorry, is that the Grinch with a gun?
Yes.
Or is that the Grinch mixed together with the version of Megatron that just turned into a gun?
No, it's very much the Grinch with a gun.
Holy shit.
This is my Mesopotamia OC, Gilgamesh. He's Gilgamesh's cousin who carries a gun.
Dude, the Grinch with a gun, though, like, man, he could really ruin Christmas. Like,
it doesn't change the story very much.
No, it does though, because he like kills somebody.
They have a reason to dislike the Grinch, other than he's just kind of a dick.
I don't think the Grinch would have actually shot somebody. I think he just brandished the gun a lot.
Dude, I think the Grinch would have killed Santa Claus.
The Grinch.
And then at the end, he would have had a change of heart, and everyone would have been like, "Yay, Christmas is saved."
No, he would have had
but then
to become
Santa's
Santa
dead.
Claus, like in the Santa Claus.
Like, yeah, that's true.
We have gone way off the topic of spooky season.
It doesn't matter.
Dude, we moved on from spooky season a long time ago.
What?
If capitalism wants Christmas to start in September, who are we to fight against this inexorable tide? I mean me, because I think we should cancel Christmas.
But I like Christmas.
Whatever.
I like Christmas.
Why don't you just not celebrate it? Like with anything else in the world, you can just not do a
Just
thing.
celebrate.
I just think we should cancel all the holidays.
Wait, are you the Grinch? You want? It's not that
celebrating-
you don't want to celebrate Christmas. It's that you don't want other people to be able to. Are you the Grinch?
Yeah, I'm like the kind of people that don't believe in free college because they had to pay for college. If I don't get to enjoy Christmas, nobody gets to enjoy Christmas.
Just celebrate.
I'm gonna come in your
Christmas.
house. I'm gonna take all your presents.
So it sounds like you.
I'm gonna take
You're
all your
jealous.
decorations.
Even?
I'm gonna take all your decorations. I'm gonna shove your tree right up the chimney.
Mm.
Just
So
try
I
and
had
stop me.
I had
I have a
chocolate
gun.
Coke
I'm the
today.
Gunch.
You had
I'm
excuse
I'm
me.
sorry.
What?
I had chocolate.
You
Coke
had choke
today.
today?
You had
I had
choke?
choke.
Coca-Cola?
God, I wish
Coca-Cola.
that were me.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
It was
Dude, that's
good. It was really good. It wasn't even like chocolate flavoring out of a fountain. It was like they fucking mixed chocolate syrup in with the fucking Coke.
Chocolate
Good.
That's
syrup
a lot
or
better than like
chocolate
a premixed
flavored-
Is it
can.
good?
Wait, no, please recognize, though, that while I think I understand what you meant when you said chocolate syrup is another thing that shouldn't get put in a soda.
It's real
I don't
good.
know. Have you ever heard of hot Dr. Pepper?
It's a thing.
Oh,
It's
What?
not terrible.
Hot Dr. Pepper sounds like a sex move.
Like,
Hold on.
Like, dude,
I'd like
dude,
to-
what happened with you and that
Super
girl
bad.
last night? Man, we ended up
I'd
doing the
like-
hot Dr. Pepper, I tell you.
I would very much
I
like to
tell
try
you
this.
what.
straight up, you boil some Dr. Pepper and you pour it over a lemon slice.
Wouldn't it
Huh.
be... Would it still be carbonated when it's hotted?
No. It's like spiced cider at that point.
That
This sounds like some meth
Well,
head shit.
I have
No,
to
I
do
thought it was
now.
just
advertised
warm
by
Dr. Pepper.
way back when.
I'll
Huh.
have to do this now, won't I?
Damn,
I like
I want
Dr.
to try
I don't
this.
know if it's
It's
very
good.
good, and they do recommend that you pour it over a lemon slice, like at the bottom of the glass. But this was advertised in like ways to enjoy Dr. Pepper when it was like first released.
Huh.
Cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's already got like 27 flavors in there.
23.
How much more
In the
enjoyment
same
do you
era
need to
where
get out of
everything
it?
was put in Jello.
So
Yeah.
I
Something
have
neat.
an important question for all of you.
okay.
So if you suspended a meat beast in Jello,
You need a lot
Would
of
it kill or
Jell-O.
preserve the
do
meat
you
beast's
think?
integrity?
One second. Do you think you could still gaze into the meat beast, or do you think like the light refraction going through the Jello would prevent it from gazing back? Also,
I think it depends on how brightly lit the room is and what color is the Jell-O and
Hmm.
how opaque is
Clear.
the Jell-O.
The Jello is clear.
why would I use clear Jello, Chris?
The Jell-O cannot be completely clear though.
For my
like,
meat beast, it's
yeah,
got to be
but,
like
like,
green
fuck
Jello,
you.
right?
Ah,
Yeah.
I mean,
like
if you
fucking
want to use a
crystal
flavored
fancy
Jello, you
Jell-O,
can.
like-
But for the most part, if you're just trying to have meat
Jello
in
itself, yeah.
meat
But
in
it's
Jello,
still not completely clear.
you're gonna want to
like,
use unflavored Jello.
Like clear
Yes.
unflavored Jell-O is still gonna be kind of like white though.
I mean,
it depends on the purity, right?
It's pretty clear. It
tends
to go
jello.
a little yellow just by the nature of it.
Put a meat beast in there, it's not going to be very pure.
That's true.
That
That's
is
true.
Yeah.
You know,
so we're gonna have like
I
a
guess
pinkish,
it's gonna be red no matter what we do.
like a pinkish jello, right?
I mean,
yeah.
but they have those like rain cakes. Have you seen those?
Rain cakes.
Like
the
fancy
ones that are just like
Jell-O?
27 layers of different colored Jello.
Yeah, well,
no,
we
it's like
also,
pure Jello and like but it's like real gelatin usually, not like the stuff from the box.
Are we? Here's the thing.
But it's like totally
powdering the
clear, and
hoods
they put
yourself?
stuff inside of it and like designs and stuff.
Well, it's like, are we using very good like kitchen equipment, and are we hiring like a professional chef to make the
quality of the gelatin
enough to put it in gelatin?
Well, that's the problem, right?
What are we capable of doing with Jello? I can make Jello shots that come out barely the color they're supposed to be, and that's my capability.
Logistically,
I enjoy Jello, and I'm
chasing
good at it.
us always. We'd have to like a Scooby-Doo trap so that it falls into the pool of unhardened gelatin and then cools.
But he stays.
Scooby-Doo trap is we gotta make one because the thing is that if we were if we were Mystery Inc., let's be realistic here about
I'd be Scooby-Doo.
Let's be realistic about the fact that I'm Shaggy and
I think Chris is Shaggy.
Get caught.
I've got some bad news for you.
I would get caught all up in my own trap.
Evey, I think that Chris is Shaggy.
Yeah, then Scooby-Doo.
It's not Daphne.
I won't argue when presented with the fact that I'm probably Fred.
You're Eddie's Fred. Yeah.
Eddie's Fred. He's the one sending me
inarguably Fred.
All right, wait, and who gets to be the hot one? Who gets to be Velma?
That's Evey.
It's not me.
I am an unholy combination of Shaggy and Velma.
0% chance that I'm the hot one.
Wait. No,
Velma's the hot one.
Chris is Velma.
I am Velma.
Wait.
I am the Velma. I am the Shaggy.
I'm just saying, I 100% cannot be Daphne. It just doesn't.
No. Listen. Who here wears glasses? That's me, bitch.
All of us, except for
everyone.
I don't wear glasses.
I do not wear glasses. Yeah.
That's not all of us. That's not even close to all of us.
I have really good eyesight, actually.
Evey.
That's 3 out of 5.
Words mean things.
More than half is most.
Evey, it's fine. You're the car.
And if you round up if you're rounding most, it's closer to all than to none. So
there are 5 of us. We should be able to figure out who's who.
Okay.
I'm Fred. That's the baseline, right?
Eddie's Fred.
And I'm definitely Scooby because I can barely talk.
Okay. And
I
Evey,
don't think that's good.
Wasn't that your original proposition?
Yeah, is that I'm definitely Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I must be shit.
Okay, wait, but so to be real for a second, obviously I said Velma was the hot one because Linda Cardellini played her in the live action movies, but
she's so fucking hot.
like canonically Daphne's the hot one, right? So that's probably Chris, right?
How would do?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Won't argue there.
Then we have left Velma and Shaggy to go between Jennica and Evey.
Well,
rock, paper, scissors.
Jenica's.
I'm literally allergic to weed, so I can't be Shaggy.
Yeah, and you're smarter than me, so
there we go. That's the gang.
Great baseline because I'm a complete moron. But
I can do math.
I cannot.
I am capable. Listen.
I cannot do math, but I sure do want to be a
in my calculus class right now. Listen.
But let's be completely honest with ourselves. If we were in the Scooby-Doo universe, we'd be running one of those ghost scams. We wouldn't be Mystery Inc.
Yeah, I'd be an old man in a mask.
We'd be old man jankining all over this bitch.
Shit.
Like to the point where like in one episode, like they would like catch us and stop our ghost scheme or whatever, right? And then in a future episode, they'd stop a different plan and it would turn out it was us again. Like
I'd be the lady that pretends that my house is haunted and tells you guys like the sad ghost story.
And then we would be the ghosts.
I'd be the one that hits him with a brick and turns it into a gritty reboot.
Oh my god.
The Rob Zombie remake of Scooby-Doo.
Chris is the Mystery Inc. Gunch. Shotgun.
The brunch. It's the Grinch, but he has a brick.
It's the Scooby-Doo character, Brick Shithouse. Oh god.
You ever remember the Scooby-Doo's?
It's time to set a trap, gang. I've already suplexed the monster. I already got his mask off. I put him in a full naked choke.
What?
Thanks.
Got his mask off. It's all
why did you strip him down, Brick Shithouse?
You're gonna question the brick?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I got my methods.
Okay.
Hey, I just want to be clear. I know that the full naked choke doesn't have anything to do with being nude. I was just making a joke.
I
don't even know if that's a thing. I'm just putting words together.
Well, I know the rear naked choke is a thing, and so I just assumed that I was like, well, Chris must know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know all the submission holds. That must be one of them.
Eddie,
Chris was so confident.
I'm sure Chris knows.
You are much better off assuming that I don't know a thing. And I'm just I'm just tacking words together.
Chris actually, coincidentally, Chris doesn't understand like English or sentence structure, but he read a lot of the words in a dictionary and he just slaps them together. And luckily, it comes out to sentences.
I'm just incredibly lucky. Yeah.
He's like that monkey.
He's intelligence 1, luck 20.
Shakespeare.
What?
I
am all 1 million monkeys.
He's the monkey out of the million monkeys. Yeah.
Ooh.
Eddie,
I wish I
how are
could
we
stay
on time?
connected to the internet.
We're
more
great on
time.
time, man. We can
Give me
end it
Blanetta.
whenever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are we actually at?
We're at a little over an hour.
And there's very little to cut here.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Do you want to hit one of my fun Halloween questions?
If it's going to be quick, yeah.
Just a quick round robin thing then. What Halloween costume do you think desperately needs a sexy version?
Desperately?
Fire hydrant?
Doesn't...
Sexy fire hydrant. That's a good one.
Plague Doctor.
I'm sure that exists.
Ooh,
Sexy
Plague
Doctor
Doctor's good.
Every Plague Doctor is sexy.
That is true.
Thank you, Ben.
That's important.
Jenica?
All right.
I'm honestly trying to think of a costume that doesn't already have a sexy version, and I don't know that exists.
Scooby-Doo.
I mean, I've got...
Listen, Evey,
I've got the
Sexy
correct
Do.
answer.
Sexy Do.
100%.
It's Sexy Meat Beast.
Sexy meat beast.
Sexy Meat Beast.
Sexy Demogorgon from Stranger
Well, it's a
Things.
couple's costume. It's Sexy Meat Beast and Sexy Abyss. But then, like, if you have like a third wheel type of situation, like Ted in How I Met Your Mother, then they can dress up as Sexy Nietzsche.
Guys, I was just about to say Sexy Nietzsche.
Oh no. Oh God, Jenica.
Well, you know what they say in Milwaukee.
It's not hard to find.